Fantastic Beasts fans celebrate! It's finally here! We've got our first view of the Crimes of Grindelwald teaser trailer. Now, let's put our heads together and pick out all the clues. Join me and other Fantastic Beasts fans here on the Beast Chaser Forum as we uncover the secrets, discover what's coming first, and play along with Rowling's newest game. In my eagerness to get this video to you as quickly as possible so we can share the discussion, I'm quite sure I've missed some clues and misinterpreted others. However, I'll follow this one up soon with a more thoughtful video that'll include some of your catches as well. One thing I found most curious in the pre-release publicity yesterday was this note on the Elder Wand in the new Wizarding World logo. Not only does it emphasize the fact that the Elder Wand is the linchpin uniting the two series from Harry Potter on the left to Fantastic Beasts on the right, but notice this one curious word, secured. Instead of saying Dumbledore won the wand off Grindelwald, he secured it, which indicates that the ownership may have been in question long before the final duel took place. Does this mean Dumbledore already had a claim prior to their duel? Or someone else? I'm still betting on my theory from an earlier video that both Tina and Newt shared a claim. Whoever holds the wand now, it seems the allegiance of this symbol of death and power may well be in question throughout the series. Now, on to the trailer. First, I'm glad to see Hogwarts take center stage. But are those wizards apparating on Hogwarts grounds, or just before reaching it? Dumbledore is confronted inside the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. But why is he there if he's the Transfiguration professor? Wherever he goes, Dumbledore seems to always be in trouble with the Ministry. Pottermore confirms that Theseus Scamander is part of this welcoming committee, as well as Travers. And I'm very curious about this object. Notice the clawed feet, and the top seems to be a tower. I think this may be related to alchemy. It seems very familiar to me, but I'll have to do some research. Next, we've seen this postcard before, but still don't know who sent it. And now we don't know who tore it up. Perhaps the postcard was not even sent to Newt, but to whoever ripped it to shreds. We see Dumbledore's Deluminator in use, the minister's accusation that Newt is following Dumbledore's orders, and Dumbledore's great comeback that, well, if you ever had the pleasure to teach him, you know Newt is not a great follower of orders. Obviously, big things are going on between Newt and Dumbledore. Grindelwald stands on an ancient-looking podium, almost like a sundial, before a crowd with Rosier, holding what Pottermore is calling a prophecy orb, like from the Department of Mysteries. If this is a prophecy, I imagine it will be of a different type than in Potter. Perhaps something Grindelwald has manipulated to predict his inevitable rise to power. Tina seems undercover. Newt and Jacob ride together again. And am I mistaken, or did we just get a glimpse of the new beast? Perhaps the Feng Wang, or some other mythical variation of the Phoenix. In one of the most curious reveals of the trailer, we see the Obscurus seeming to fly from Credence while he remains intact. In fact, the power seems to exit from his upraised palm. Is he learning how to control the parasitic infection? Is the Maledictus somehow a part of this new power? Perhaps this related to a scene that comes later in the trailer, where an angry Credence is shown breaking apart a cage of magical creatures. Perhaps he's breaking out of his own cage in this film. Here we are inside the French Ministry of Magic. And is that a magical creature Zodiac covering the ceiling? In quick succession, we see Queenie on a mission, a dancer at a formal ball, and Leta Lestrange looking very concerned. Perhaps she's concerned because she's just discovered a new member on the Lestrange family tree. Credence is her cousin. Honestly, this new revelation requires a bit more thought. There's so much to see and dissect in this image. Notice that there's also a comma around the family tree. so I hope to dive in deeper on this after I've had more time to examine it. Newt takes a ride on a Kelpie, according to Pottermore, but why would he risk riding a beast that takes its victims to the bottom of a lake to eat them, unless something is hidden beneath the waters? We catch an exciting but short glimpse of the circus, a concerned character who may be our first glimpse of use of comma, and is that Credence inside the center ring of the circus? And in a carriage pulled by Thestrals, we see what is probably the scene where Grindelwald makes his escape. Legos is giving us a hint as to who is holding one of those two wands on him, as Madame Pickery is one of the characters released in this new set. Perhaps most curious is this ending scene of Newt and Theseus together, sending up a charm that seems to break apart the Deathly Hallows. Here we get our graveyard scene that we've been speculating about since the filming at Highgate. Also, the spell they're sending up seems very reminiscent of Voldemort's Mors Mortar. But perhaps most curious of all, why did this magic require a graveyard to complete? Whose grave are they standing upon? We know from the Highgate info that it was set in Paris. Is it related to Nicholas Flamel? Is that just the juxtaposition of the Scamander brothers' spell with the ending credits? Or is there something going on with the power of the Elder Wand and magic united? Before we go, I'd like to remind you about my newest release, Fantastic Secrets Behind Fantastic Beasts, the video book. Like Newt's trunk, it's a living, expanding assembly of theories and videos that I will update monthly until Crimes of Grindelwald releases in November. I've linked to it in the description below. If you've read the book or follow the videos that make it up, I hope you'll consider posting a review on Amazon or your favorite review site. So perhaps even more intriguing than what we saw is what was left out. Did anyone catch a glimpse of Jessica Williams? What do you all think? Are you as excited as I am? Please share your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next video, where we'll continue this discussion and dive in even deeper.